Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. If you're new, welcome, and I appreciate your viewership. Today is a bit of a treat. I have some book mail, so I'm glad you're here to join me unboxing these. I am so excited. So I'm really excited to get into these. I ordered these last weekend, and I'm so happy they got here just a little while ago. So without further ado, let's get started. So I've been searching for some classic books, some specific ones for a while, and I am very pleasantly surprised to learn that I was able to pick these up on Target.com, which is kind of surprising because I've not really shopped on Target.com for books. So I have looked on Target.com. I was directed there in a previous research for older books in my collection that I own, and wasn't sure where to find them for you who might be interested in purchasing them. But I had not really shopped, and the other night or last weekend I was up late and I was looking for books, as you do, and I was happy to find a pretty good deal. Now, I'm sure that there's other favorite sites that other people like to go to, and I have not done enough research on those. Usually I try to purchase books on sites that I'm familiar with, and so a lot of times I will go through bookstores like Barnes and Nobles. I don't have any privately owned bookstores in my area that I know of. I've been trying to look for some so I could visit, but so far haven't found any. And so usually I do shop on barnesandnobles.com, or I've gone into the store recently, and Amazon is a huge outlet for when I get books. But I was really surprised at the selection that Target had and the books that I got. So I won't tease you anymore, and let's just get into the books. So let's open the first package. I kind of remember what I ordered because I've been waiting for them, but they separated them into different shipments, and yet they both came the same day. So I don't know why they did that. Maybe they were coming from two different places, but okay. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so the first book I'm going to show you is this lovely Snow and Rose book. Now, originally I was going to purchase this on Amazon because I had seen this in a previous video, and if I can remember the video, I will link it up there so you can check out the video. Someone reviewed this on YouTube, and I saw it and I really liked it, and they purchased it on Amazon. But after going through reviews, I saw that a lot of people were not happy with the book that they received. So I was looking for an alternative place to find this book, and lo and behold, Target had it. So I'm not sure if this is the exact same book that the reviewers and Amazon purchased. I know it was hardcover, and this is also a hardcover book. It is very pretty. Look at that cover, and this is the back. So it says, Snow and Rose didn't know they were living in a fairy tale. People never do. So this book is by Emily Winfield Martin, and I had seen this book for a long time. I had it in my book list for a while, and I just hadn't pulled the trigger. And that particular evening, I was just looking through my list, and I just wanted to get this book before it was not available anymore, because I noticed that some of the sellers on the website were used book sellers, or third-party sellers rather. So I was just afraid that I wouldn't be able to find it anymore, and I didn't want to go through I didn't want to purchase a used copy. So then I started searching other stores and came to Target. So I'm really happy that this came in. I've been wanting it for so long. Oh my goodness. So this is the inside cover. So there you see the end papers. And Snow and here's a little snippet. Snow and Rose were two sisters as different as night and day. They lived in the woods, but it hadn't always been so. So that's intriguing. I'm looking forward to reading this book. And actually, I am going to probably read this book in a future readathon that I'm going to be participating in. So pretty soon I'll probably be doing a video on the readathon that I'm talking about or referring to in this video. But I just want to keep this video short so we can just focus on these lovely books. And let's see. Okay, so there is no picture on this book. So I think it is a different book because I did notice that in some of the reviews, the pictures, they did have a portrait, they did have illustration on the cover. I mean on the front of the book. So of course this one does not have that. It does include an illustrated desk jacket. And so I'm assuming that this is another copy of, a different copy rather, of the book. It does though have a bit of illustration on the spine, and it has the two-tone black spine and red cover. So I believe that this, yes, is an illustrated copy, which is one of the reasons I wanted to purchase this book, because the illustrations were just so beautiful in the video that I saw. I just wanted to purchase this book. Here's one. I was looking for a specific picture. This is one of the pictures that I saw in the review, and I really liked these illustrations. And I'm really looking forward to reading this book. Like I said, I had this on my list for some time, and I'm so happy to finally own this now. So the second book that came in this package is Jane Austen's The Lady Susan, the Watsons, and Sanditon, I think. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So I actually wanted to purchase a copy of Lady Susan back in July for the Jane Austen July readathon, Jane Austen July, but I was unable to find one that I was happy with. And that evening when I was researching Snow and Rose's book, I started looking at other books on Amazon.com, and I was surprised to find that they had this trio of Jane Austen's novels, and it was a Penguin classic. I like that this is really floppy, but what I liked is that it included some bonus features. So I'm trying to remember because it's been a few days. I can't, let me look for the table of contents. Okay, so there is a little bit of a blemish. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little like the page was kind of maybe bent or something, but I don't mind that. There's also a little marking on this page, but I'm fine with that. So it says Jane Austen, Lady Susan, the Watsons, and Sanditon. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Edited with an introduction by Margaret Drabble. And yes, it's Penguin Books. I think this is Penguin. Not sure if it's English classic, but I like that it feels good in your hand. It feels good in your hand. That's the thing of mine. Don't like really to purchase books online because I find that it's like a bit of a surprise when you get your book because you don't know if you're going to enjoy the book when it gets there. And her soft covers are a little hard because I don't like the stiff kind. I really like the floppy kind of book, and this one feels very floppy. It's it feels like it's gonna close up, but it doesn't. It feels really good to the touch in your hand. I like that it's a bit wide, so it's not that small mass-produced paperback that some people don't care for, which I don't myself. The font is also another big thing for me, but this one feels like it's readable. I'm not wearing my glasses and I feel like I can read this, and it's a little dark in this room right now without the light I have on, so yes, I can read that. So all in all, I'm very pleased with my copy of these novels. Like I said, I was really wanting to purchase back in July a copy, but I wasn't able to find any that I was interested in purchasing. So I'm here on the okay, so this is a Penguin Random House UK edition, and tonight this edition was published in 1974, I believe, but I am not too sure because this this font is quite smaller than the font of the actual book, and I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm a little bit at a loss here. So I'm hoping that I'm correct, but if I'm not, I'll write that down. I'll put that down in the description. So in the table of contents, there's an introduction, there's a chronology, further reading, social background, and then we have Lady Susan, the Watsons, and sedition. Then to follow, there are notes on the text and then more notes. So I really do like that you get those extras in this book besides the novels. I mean, of course, the novels are, what I purchased, but I like that you get those extras. So I'm very happy with this book. So far so good. That's 2 down, and I'm really enjoying my my books that I received. Okay, I will say that this one's new, but there's like a little I feel like you need to be very careful with this cover because it's just kind of like a paper cardstock. It's not that durable, so I think you have to be careful. I'm pretty careful with my books, but if you're not, I would say that be a little careful because otherwise you're gonna get a bunch of dings. And like I said, I had that couple of pages that were a little blemished and creased, so just keep an eye out for that if you purchase this copy. But yeah, I'm very happy with this book. So now we're gonna go into the next package, and I'm excited to do that. So maybe I should have bought a tool to open. This one's a little bit harder to open than the last one was. Oh my goodness, okay, I got it. Okay, all right, here they come. Okay, the first book I'm pulling out is Emma by Jane Austen. Now, I didn't have an individual copy of Emma, and in July, like I said, I was researching a lot of Jane Austen novels to decide which edition that I wanted to purchase. So I had heard a lot about these Penguin Deluxe Classic editions. I'm sorry, Penguin Classic Deluxe editions. I had heard very good things about these books. The one thing in particular that some people might not be so fond of is that they do have deckled edges. So I don't know if you could see, but they do have those. I am not put off by those. A YouTuber had done a deep dive into her classic editions to just compare so you can see the different type of characteristics of different classic editions. And to me, it seemed like the Penguin Classic Deluxe edition seemed to be like the cream of the crop. And I mean, if you get past the deckled edges, which I'm fine with. I will say though, it is a little bit dinged up. So there's like a little dent right here, a little bend in the book, and there's a little like puncture right there. Normally I'm a fusspot about those things. I'm just compulsive and don't like those things, but I'm fine for the price that I paid, and I'll put that down below. I think it was under $15, I believe. I'm fine with it. But I was not expecting the type of cover that it is. So it has a flap, and look at those illustrations. That's another reason why I like this book. And I did not realize that they were going to have these illustrations in the back. So I really, really like this cover. I like the illustrations on the cover. I didn't think that it was going to be, it kind of feels like a paper, like, just like kind of like a fancy old-fashioned kind of paper. I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but if you happen upon this book, and you touch it, you pick it up, you know what I'm talking about. It is not, there's no sheen, there's no plastic, like, it feels like paper to the touch. It is like a heavy kind of cardstock feel, but it doesn't feel like, it feels like paper. A very heavy duty cardstock type of paper. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not as heavy duty. So just be aware, because I don't remember if the YouTuber that I'm referring to actually touched on that. She might have. I can't remember, because she actually went through a lot of editions of classics. So I really recommend that video. But I was kind of in for the cover and the extras in this book that are in here, and then also the fonts. And this is what I mean by the fonts. I like a very large font. Now, this is not a large print book by no means, and some people might say, oh, that's not really that large, but I kid you not, a lot of these classic editions are tiny. They are tiny. And you know what, let me show you what I'm talking about. So the font usually varies a lot, the size of it rather varies a lot in these classic editions. So even though I really love this book, because look at it, and it's so pretty, and it is illustrated. It's an illustrated edition. These are very tiny text. So now that I'm a bit older and I need my glasses to see that tiny script. So that's one of the main reasons that I was interested in purchasing the Penguin Classic Deluxe editions. Again, also a benefit was the striking covers and the extras that are in this book. But this particular one is, like I said, a 200th anniversary edition. So this is even a more special edition of the Penguin Classic Deluxe edition, and it is annotated. So I'm very happy to own an annotated copy. I don't have any, so I'm just very happy to own an individual edition of Emma. So it's a lot easier to read this book, because even though I have the edition and the novel in the collection of works of Jane Austen, it wasn't that easy to read unless you're like at a desk, and you know, I'm not really reading these books at a desk. So I kind of just use my Libby app. So when I want to read it, you know, I have to open up my my phone or my tablet, and it's electronic. So it's nice to have this one in my hand and I can read it. And I actually have not read Emma, so I'm looking forward to reading this soon. So the last book I have to share with you is this copy of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And this is what I'm talking about. See, this is another Penguin Classic Deluxe editions. You see these images. I mean, these editions are so cool. And look at the back. Look at that. It's so cool. I'm thinking that this is Mr. Rochester's Charge. It's been many it's been no, not many years, but I want to say about two or 3 years since I last had watched the adaptation, and it's been about maybe 5 years that I almost completed reading Jane Eyre. I think it was towards the end of the book, and then I just kind of stopped and I never finished it. So now I have to go back and read it all over again because obviously I'm not going to remember. But I have this lovely edition to refer to. So I'm looking forward to reading this again. Yes, this is look at that. It is paper, like a hard like a cardstock type of quality of paper, but there's no, like, you don't want to get this wet because it will be damaged. So it's not like something that you can wipe off, where this one has a bit of a sheen to it. So I think you could get away with like a very like a damp, not that damp, but a little bit of a damp cloth. If you had a smudge or something, wipe that down. This, I think it has to be like a very dry cloth, because I think you will damage this, because like I said, it is like a cardstock. I'm sorry. But, and that's such unfortunate. And I wish they had that sheen, because it's such a pretty illustration. I mean, you don't want to ruin these. So you do, I would say, have to be very careful with these books. But again, like I said, there's the decal edges, and the font is pretty good. I think that the Emma edition, I think, might be a little bit bigger. I want to see, because this one seems a bit smaller to me. I can't tell. I think it is. I'm going to hold it up to the screen, and you tell me. It looks like it is. It looks like the Emma is a bit bigger. Oh, unfortunate. I can read it though. I mean, I can read this. It's not as tiny as the book that I showed you earlier. The let me see. Let me pick it up. Here it is. Pride and Prejudice Illustrated Classic Edition. This is obviously a lot, not a lot, but it's bigger. So this Penguin Classic Deluxe Edition is a bit bigger. See, that's the thing. And now that I'm thinking about it, I remember her saying that sometimes on the different editions there could be varying size fonts. So unfortunately, I was kind of hoping to get a bigger size font, because I do own a collector's library edition of Jane Eyre, but it's pretty tiny. So let me show you that. Let me move this out of the way. So this is my collector's library edition of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. You can tell a lot tinier than the Penguin Classic Deluxe Edition. And I do love this little book. I want to say I purchased this maybe 10 years ago. About there, could be 10 or 8 years ago, at Barnes & Noble's. And as you can tell, it is very tiny, this font. Let me give you, as you can see, this font is so much tinier than the Penguin Deluxe Edition. But I didn't own a copy of Jane Eyre, so I thought it was pretty good deal for it. Only cost $4.95. So I like the miniature side. I just thought that was so cute. But I was younger and my eyes weren't as bad as they are now. So now I would not be able to read this that long. I think I would probably need my glasses. Even with glasses, I think that I probably would have difficulty reading this for so long. And you see how thick this book is. Well, this is a little thicker, but I mean, for it to be such a tiny font, you would think that it would be thinner. But it's not. It's just a cute little book. I like the little marker, the little ribbon marker that's in here. And I really enjoyed this little book. And so I have a couple of classic books in this edition series. But I wanted to upgrade to just a better quality of book so I can read this easier. So yeah, I'm very happy with this edition. This book is part of a series of Penguin Classic editions designed with original cover art in watercolor pencil or ink by world-renowned fashion illustrator Ruben Toledo. Born in Havana, Cuba in 1961, Ruben Toledo is an illustrator, painter, sculptor, and filmmaker. So right on the first page, you get a little snippet about the life of the illustrator for these charming covers of this deluxe classic editions. And then there's a little bit here about Jane Eyre. Trying to see. There's a note on the text. The text of this novel has been reset from the volume published in Penguin Classics, which is edited from the first edition. Okay, so let's see, what edition is this? Printed in the United States. So, okay, so this is printed in the United States, because one of my books I noticed was a UK edition. But this is printed here in the United States. Okay, so this is the 17th printing of this Jane Eyre story. And there's a paraphrase. And there's a note to the third edition. So we have that. And then, okay, so that's about all there is for extras in this book. But, I mean, it is quite lovely. I don't remember how much I paid for this one because the price did vary. They weren't the same price. But I can't remember what I paid. I know for sure that all these books, with the exception of Snow and Rose, I found on Barnes & Nobles, and these were all cheaper than the Barnes & Nobles counterparts on their website. So I'm quite happy with what I received from Target.com. If you're interested, just go to their site, and I just typed in Penguin Classics, and then I got a bunch of books that came up, and also I think I did type in the individual titles. But I have to say that I'm really happy with what I received in this today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it went on a bit longer than I expected. I'm told that I tend to go on a bit. So if you did stick around to this point, I do appreciate your viewership, and maybe you might consider subscribing to my channel. But if not, no worries. I do appreciate you visiting and hope that you will decide to visit again. But until next time, take care. God bless. See you soon. Bye.